Welcome everybody to the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast, your home for all wrestling, everything wrestling. What's up, fellas? We had a busy day, don't we?
What's up? How's it going?
What's going on?
College football, we got baseball, we got wrestling, we got
what a time
Giants
to be
and Jets preseason football. We got more wrestling.
What a time to be a sports fan, right? And
saying,
not just wrestling, but sports in general.
We got more wrestling.
Bye baseball. Hello Juice Baseballs. Hello Big Juice Baseballs, because they gonna bring them out now that college football and the NFL's returning.
So it's just
they've been throwing those cement balls for the last couple of weeks. Now it's gonna be
them holes fly, baby. But let's get right into it because we gotta let it fly today. We got a lot to break down. So you go right ahead.
Yeah, we do have a lot to cover today, and one of those is rumors according to Fightful Select. Reported that Ricochet has signed a multi-year deal with AEW. This was something that was definitely expected already, since, in my opinion, when he was in NXT, I think he was utilized beautifully. When he was called up to the main roster, I think there was a lot of inconsistencies. He wasn't used to his max potential. I mean, we saw a glimpse of it, but we didn't see all of it. And, like anybody would, if you feel like, you can unlock that potential somewhere else, that's what you do. So Ricochet basically betted on himself, was a free agent, but according to Fightful Select, they have reported that Ricochet is AEW bound, and don't be surprised if he shows up tomorrow at AEW All In.
I think the rumors was he was going to show up tomorrow at All In, so
I think
something that's there.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe somewhere in the Casino Gauntlet match.
Well, they have. I was going to say he's probably going to
be the Joker or something like that.
I don't know.
No,
I think. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I'm looking at the card. I think where do you plug in Ricochet to make his debut is probably the Casino Gauntlet match or somewhere with the MJF and Ospreay match. If something fishy happens with that matchup,
so where is he going to be in that feud with the MJF and this dude at some point, or you think?
I don't know. See, I don't know. I think it's too early. I see. Let's wait and see how they build up Ricochet.
Right.
And regarding the casino, right. And regarding like the Casino Gauntlet match, I don't expect Ricochet to win out like in his debut, because it's like, all right, Ricochet wins, boom, he quickly gets a championship match. But I think he'll have a nice showing there. But again, this is a big W for AEW. Ricochet was, one of my favorites when he was in WWE, given his skills and, high flying ability. And, obviously the way he wrestles with, various high spots and his, fast paced action. Right. It's just the promo skills is what needs work. So if he's able to, work on that, there shouldn't be any problem. But again, this is AEW we're talking about, and I have mentioned in the past my concerns with how they build certain stars when they sign them. The lack of inconsistencies when it comes to bookings and stuff like that. So
lack of. I think you're being generous there.
I'm being respectful. But we'll see what happens. But Ricochet, there's a long list of individuals that you can in AEW that you can put against Ricochet, and you can say it could be a 5-star match. So you have Will Ospreay, you have Pac, whenever Kenny Omega gets 100%, you could do that. Swerve Strickland, right? Darby, like the list goes on and on. So big win for AEW though. I mean, it was expected, but big W.
I get it, but again, the promo thing is what sticks out for me most, like the weak promo skills, and like I feel like that's something that AEW needs to improve on. as they don't do a good job with certain people when it comes to their weaker promo skills. Unfortunately, we know a lot of wrestlers get knocked for that. Mercedes is another one that gets knocked for that very hard on her promo skills. I'm not saying she's bad at promos, but she cuts decent promos. But sometimes just the stuff they try to tell her to do, it just comes off like it doesn't seem like authentic sometimes. And same thing with Ricochet. When he did stuff, it's like he sort of forced it. Granted, I think some of it was more Vince's stuff as opposed to Triple H. But if you don't really get that mic time, it's like sort of like the Apollo Crews effect. Apollo Crews is insanely talented, but his mic skills are lacking. Like some wrestlers like that, you need sort of like that mouthpiece to sort of make them confident. Like Brock Lesnar is an example of somebody who was terrible, but then actually got pretty decent on the mic. Even in his last couple of runs, he actually showed
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Roman. Yep.
Yeah, when Roman was a face, like, you know, his promo skills were cringe. And then you pair him up with a guy like Paul Heyman, you know, a mastermind like Paul Heyman, and you know, you do wonders. But you know, when it comes to AEW, we'll see, you know, how they utilize them. I still have my concerns, but you know, again, like I'm not concerned with like his wrestling skills or anything like that. It's just how they utilize him. That's
of course.
Because I feel like he's going to get a push right off the gate, but then
definitely,
what's the next step? You know, we go on to a former AEW Women's Champion, who might make her return at AEW's All In, and that's Jamie Hayter. We haven't seen Jamie Hayter in about 15 months.
Soto's favorite, by the way, FYI, for those who don't know Soto.
That is true. I'm not going to deny it. But again, you know, she had a tremendous run, but you know, that run was cut short, obviously, with you know, a significant injury that she suffered. And you know, who would have thought that it would take 15 months, you know? So definitely something very serious. But it, you know, with rumors and rumblings that she might make her return at AEW All In, is very fitting considering how you have Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné, and you have Camille as Mercedes Moné's backup.
Basically her muscle,
yeah, right. And you know, the numbers games are going to get to Britt Baker, and that's where you can plug in Jamie Hayter, kind of reunite her with Britt Baker, as you know, they were besties. So it makes a lot of sense to bring Jamie Hayter into that feud.
Yeah, I agree.
You end up seeing, if Britt Baker wins, do you see Hayter turning on Britt once they reunite? Is that what you think is a possibility?
It could be a possibility. To be completely honest, I don't see, and this might be a spoiler. I mean, even though we're giving our AEW All In predictions in a few, I don't see Britt Baker defeating Mercedes Moné. And I think a big deal has to do with Camille. But if she does beat Mercedes Moné, then you can start, like, and Jamie Hayter makes her return. I think you can start planting those seeds, because those seeds were already planted, you know, 15 months ago, when Jamie Hayter was champion, right? So you can revisit that storyline. I wouldn't do it right away. I would just like ease into it. But I think Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter is a matchup that a lot of people want to see. But I think for now, if she does make her return, you know, you pair her up again with Britt Baker to take on Mercedes Moné and Camille.
And at some point, we are probably going to get Camille versus Jamie Hayter as well, the two powerhouses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is going to be a good one too.
Next on the AEW trend is Ricky Stark's contract status. That was
all a matter of time.
That was a huge topic that was discussed this week. A lot of like reports from various different sources said that, you know, Ricky Starks was a free agent. You know, as of July, he was a free agent, and obviously Tony Khan put that news to sleep. He basically on the media call said that Ricky's been a great star in AEW. He's been a champion here and has had great matches here. And I think very highly of Ricky. He's somebody that has been here for several years, and he's under contract in AEW. He's a well-regarded wrestler here in AEW. So, spoiler, he's still under contract with AEW. However, I don't think it's going to be much for long. There's no surprise here that WWE, especially NXT, has all this interest in Ricky Starks, and also the amount of friends that Ricky Starks has in WWE. So right. I'm pretty sure there's a little, a little pitch for Ricky Starks to join WWE. I'm not sure when his contract is up yet. But one must imagine that it would be pretty soon, right?
I'm pretty sure Tony Khan probably extended it, but maybe the way he's talking seems cryptic. But it makes me think that it's probably not much longer, because he's sort of the way he's saying the statements makes it seem like that he's on his way out, like he's been a great superstar for, he's been with us for several years. So I feel like that's sort of like he's not signing with us again, or his contract's up. Same thing with the Lucha Bros. Obviously, they're like, oh yeah, they're signed, but there's a lot of uncertainty, like just when it comes to AEW, like, which is why I sort of questioned Ricochet signing to AEW, because I know Swerve said in an interview, oh yeah, I love the locker room and everything like that, blah blah blah. But then you hear a lot of people saying there's a lot of conflicting things, so it makes
there's a lot of conflicting reports on that locker room.
So I feel like, what is really the deal? Is it because you're not getting featured on TV, or is the locker room toxic? It sort of makes you think what's really going on. Again, this is coming from,
maybe Punk was right so many months ago.
I mean, he could. I mean, there could be. I mean, Swerve Strickland's on the top of the card, so if you realistically think about it, maybe the top of the card's a little bit different when it comes to locker room stuff as opposed to lower middle tier guys. Maybe.
You think anybody really cares about the top of the card? More like, because the top of the card gets airtime no matter what. It's the mid card titles or the openers.
I think it depends. I think it depends is when you come to free reign in the locker room. If you have like the WWE is like the cog and machine that keeps going, so there's not really any crazy locker room stuff. Back in the day, obviously we know there was, because we've heard the stories from JBL and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and everybody that.
Well, yeah, that era was one of a kind.
We've also read on the reports as of recent, with Triple H in charge, like that locker room has been positive. Something that wasn't really said when Vince was around, because it was more chaotic, right? It was more like, all right, whatever Vince says goes, right? As opposed to Triple H, where it's like, all right, everyone has some sort of like creative freedom.
Listen, wrestlers could request off time. When Vince was around, that was never a thing.
You work 285 days a year, and that's
not even more. It was like 300 and, if I remember right, back in the heyday, I remember I saw an interview. I think it was like 320 or 340 days a year.
I think. Oh, Michaels is almost a full year. I think he was like 300, 320. Ric Flair worked all the. Ric Flair was like, I'm working nonstop. That's why Ric Flair.
Right. So I'm saying, like, it's come a long way since Vince, which is a good thing, and I think that was like everybody says, oh yeah, we're talking about Vince, but things have changed. As you see, things got better. So and then shout out to WWE for also shouting out Chris Jericho yesterday on TV. I forgot.
I know, right?
I saw that yesterday.
I feel like it's
not greatness.
I feel like it's only a matter of time till Chris Jericho goes back to WWE, right?
He jumps again.
He might come back at some point, maybe down the line.
Definitely Hall of Fame. Definitely Hall of Fame.
Probably.
I don't think as an
in-ring. No, not probably. He's definitely Hall of Fame.
Well, it depends, because he's Hall of Fame, but that's if he wants to take it, though, because
no, he'll take it. Pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yes.
No, but
that was kind of crazy.
But my thing though, the contract with the he said that was kind of crazy. Anyways, moving on from the Soda Susness there. The contract stuff is interesting though. Like just like he was a free agent, but he's not. Like, makes you wonder about the Lucha Bros, if they're free agents or not, if they're staying or they're going. Like, there's nobody really knows. So it's interesting, very interesting.
Yeah. But again, yeah, Ricky Starks has not been used.
Since what, April?
Since like March.
March or
And it was
April?
like
Yeah,
I think it was like the quarterfinals of the World Tag Team Title Tournament, right?
Yeah.
Which him and Big Bill, which again, they worked, World Tag Team Champions, but that was like such a random pairing. And yeah, they lost to top. Yeah, they lost to Top Flight. And then ever since then, he hasn't been used. And my thing is, when you have a rising star in Ricky Starks, right? A wrestler that obviously has a connection with fans, right? And you're not utilizing him creatively and for such a long time. Again, it just raises my concern of AEW and how they book their wrestlers and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm always going to have that doubt on booking. I mean, unless somebody else takes charge and we start seeing some different changes, yeah.
I like Top Flight, but every time I hear their name, I think of freaking Friday movies. Swear to God.
I mean, listen, real quick, Top Flight was a tag team that had all the potential in the world, right? Who probably should have gotten a tag team title run by now, but
don't get me started with that. let's go to the next topic before I get in my rant with that. Let's not.
To close out the AEW topic section, as we know, AEW All In is tomorrow. So
1 o'clock Eastern.
1 o'clock Eastern, yeah.
Yeah, because it's in Wembley, so it's time difference.
Yeah. So definitely looking forward to that. So let's start with the predictions, right?
Let's get right to it.
All right. Let's start with, let's see, what match can I pick? All right, let's start with Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway versus Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii.
Statlander.
I agree with you. I think she needs to win.
I haven't heard Statlander relevancy in AEW. I don't know how long, and I don't know Willow's going to get much run right here. Like whereas for like carrying over another W.
I think somebody might help Chris and Stokely, and I'm really like looking forward to see how Stokely looks in the wrestling ring. So I think this is going to be a general consensus pick. So yeah, I'm with you guys with Chris and Stokely here.
She needs to win. She's been on a sort of a losing streak in that feud and taking a lot of L's.
You can't bottom out, especially at an event this big.
Some point you got to get the win.
Like you can say that Willow's got, it's probably gonna be the overall winner in this feud, but you have to get at least one at some point.
Yeah.
If it's not here, it's never gonna happen.
Chris Jericho versus Hook for the FTW title.
Hook.
Chris Jericho's my man, but fuck Chris Jericho. Let's go Hook.
Just the way they built it, they made it seem Hook's like the underdog, and he has no shot at Jericho.
They made Chris Jericho like a fucking dweeb. Like, bro, you were never like this. Now you just like you're a bully now. You're gonna be picking on Hook like that. You forgot who your dad was, right?
No, it's the learning tree, bro. You know how to.
Learning tree, my fucking ass. Let's go Hook. I need a submission. I want it with a submission.
You want him to be choked out.
Bring out the Brooklyn in you. I need to see this happen.
It's the learning tree, bro. You gotta embrace it.
All right, so yeah. All right, so we're at we all pick Hook, so we're good there. The Casino Gauntlet match for a future AEW World Title match. I mean,
so we're not going to say Fritz Puma. Samantha Irvin's husband is getting his aura back.
Listen, so far the names that have been announced for that match have been Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Hangman Page, Kyle O'Reilly. Obviously, right now the favorite would be Hangman Page, right?
Right.
But they still announce that more people are going to compete in this match. Who do you guys have?
Wait, so hold on. Do you think? Because I want to say somebody different, right? Just not Mangos to somebody different. It could be Ricochet, it could be somebody else. Do you think a feud of Hangman Page versus Ricochet would not do numbers?
It would.
Okay.
It would. Who knows? Maybe it's Ricochet who eliminates Hangman Page.
And then the other thing is, Are you ready to see Swerve drop the belt now? Not saying he'll lose today, like at All In, just in general. Is it time for Strickland to drop the belt? Are we at that point yet or no?
I think we
If
could
the
be at
answer
that
is
point.
no, then my first question makes sense.
I think it could be at that point.
So we're gonna get a Bryan Danielson winning and retiring with the gold.
It could be. I won't say it until we get to that point yet.
I mean, if you think about it, though, Sting did the sort of the same thing, though. So
implication.
They had a lot of respect for Sting, and I think they had the same amount of respect for Bryan Danielson. So I could see that scenario there. Too.
I'm going the question mark when it comes to somebody else. So everybody mentioned it's gonna be somebody new. I think somebody new is gonna show up and win. I don't think it's gonna be him.
Okay. So you think it's the Field, Henry?
It's tough. Honestly, it depends. Like, we don't know who that mystery person could be. It could be Ricochet.
I mean, there's going to be multiple people.
But I'm just gonna go with the favorite. Probably, I'm gonna go with Adam Page, just because I got to see who else is in the field. My answer may change between now and then. I'll update that on social media.
Yeah, likewise with me. I'm gonna go with somebody we haven't seen in a while, and it kind of ties in with my prediction for the main event. I'm gonna go with Jon Moxley.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Jon Moxley to win the Casino Gauntlet match if he's in it. If he somehow comes out, if he's not in it, then
the odds shift in his favor if he's in it, definitely.
Yeah.
You're putting somebody other than the main.
But then if you think about it,
the first 6 name now is like we'll say it. Then you have like the other the mission partners.
So let's do it like this then. So we can all have a concrete decision. It's going to be different each one of our answers.
I say mystery.
So let's say the mystery person is Ricochet, whatever he comes as, Prince Puma, whatever name he decides,
or Snyder or his husband.
Oh yeah, whatever name he comes as. So let's do that. Let's say Adam Page and Jon Moxley. Let's say those are the 3 favorites for the match.
I'm picking Moxley.
I'm gonna start. Soto pick Moxley. B, who you picking?
I'm going mystery partner. I want a mystery person.
Well, let's say the mystery person. Let's say
so if it's Ricochet, yeah, I'm going Ricochet.
All right, so I went Adam Page. So we all have different people. So that's good. Right. Perfect. So we all have 3 different people. So let's see what happens though.
Then for the AEW World Tag Team titles, you have the Young Bucks versus FTR versus the Acclaimed.
For the 7,000th time, we're getting Bucks and FTR involved in the championship match. Let's go with the Acclaimed because these two got to stop being involved in championship matches.
You know what, me, I'm with you 100%. I'm tired of seeing.
FTR. I love FTR. The Young Bucks. They were cool. Now they're annoying. You're done. Get out of here. FTR, get out of here.
I'm not gonna say I'm tired of Young Bucks and FTR like matches because when they but they could
have those matches though without having the title though.
Out of 100 episodes, they have like 75 episodes.
But I would like to see the Acclaimed be one of those top tag teams. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Young Bucks, to be honest, retained. I don't see FTR.
No, please God, no.
Listen, right now the Elite have mostly all the gold, and
guess what? They'll start losing the gold tomorrow.
For now,
I don't know. You know what? I'm changing my pick. I'm going with the Young Bucks. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you bastard!
I am just going with the Young Bucks.
I agree with the Acclaimed. They just need it. Just the way they've been booked and their push and their booking's been spotty at best, but they've been sort of booking them to have that momentum swing. And I honestly think Tony Khan is starting to hear the negative publicity from a lot of prominent wrestling creators out there on social media that they're not saying that the Young Bucks and FTR can't put on bangers because we know that. Me and B all know that. But I think they're tired of the same narrative as the title scene is FTR or the Young Bucks. You can't have that in order to have a hot tag division. Like in WWE, we were at that point too where it was very stagnant for a while when it was just the Usos, and thank God they broke it up because now we got so many different tag teams. But I think that's it. But my pick is the Acclaimed as well.
The tag team division is one of the weakest divisions in AEW. You have to open up different avenues.
At one point, it was their strongest division because they had so many.
It's redundancy. I mean, it's the same thing, but redundancy and repetitive. Repetitive and redundant matches. Now, not saying they're not bad, but it's like you're locking up.
Jim Cornette said it. Jim Cornette said it best. If you're not there to work, you're not there to work a lot. Have a part-time schedule. You shouldn't have a title. He's like, if you're there at work, you're there to work. He's like, you don't need to be in the you don't need to have the tag team titles to be featured in the tag team division. You can be after the title and chase the title and put on banger matches. But sometimes you have to put other people over in the division in order to establish it. That's what they've lacked, honestly, for the last, I want to say about 2-3 years now.
If you're gonna push the division, you got to put somebody new in there to create more matches, more value. So I'm going to Acclaimed.
Now for the AEW World Trios titles, you have the Patriarchy versus the Bang Bang Gang versus House of Black versus a mystery team.
So we're gonna skip Soto's pick because we already know who Soto's picking. So
I'm with Soto though, but that's the crazy part.
You don't have to.
First off, the Patriarchy is.
You don't have to ask me.
We don't have to ask Soto because we already know.
The Bang Gang is like,
This is 100% me being biased.
No, I'm rolling with Soto.
I'm going with the House of Black.
Yes, you want to know why? Because if they don't win it here, they're going to WWE. Everyone, one by one, they're just bouncing. There's no way you're for so long in so many top tier matches and lose. They have not won a pay-per-view match in like 7 months, 8 months.
I think except Buddy Matthews. Buddy Matthews recently signed a contract.
We don't know how long his contract was signed, and we don't know if that's 100% accurate because I haven't heard.
He's there just to collect the check to get some time off. It
could be that or his contract.
But you know what?
Listen, Black is winning.
I think, but here's the thing. Obviously, I'm being biased. I pick House of Black. But here's the thing, though. The mystery team is what is getting to me, right? And what if this mystery team? I'm just saying, for shits and giggles, right? What if it's Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin?
Oh, chill the fuck out. You know what? House of Black, you can go kick rocks. Let's go.
All right, I'm just saying they're free agents. I'm saying,
it would be interesting. That I won't lie.
You know what, Soto? The House of Black is whack. Let's go with Lashley.
It would be interesting.
I totally forgot about that because where has Lashley, MVP, and Benjamin been for the past Benjamin's doing indie shows. MVP is doing his MVP with the Tybo. What was he doing when he was rehabbing? He was doing some program that kind of got him back into wanting to wrestle again. And Lashley's home just lifting, benching 700, squatting 900. So it's he's just working out, hanging out with the family.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go mystery team, hoping that it's Lashley and them. I changed my mind.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Spoiler. So, the mystery team. The mystery team has been announced. Sorry. So it is. And I totally forgot about that. My apologies, fellas and viewers. The mystery team will consist of Pac, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta.
Let's go House of Black.
I'm still going with House of Black.
House of Black.
They can kick rocks. Everybody else can kick rocks.
House of Black. House of Black is not whack. If you lose tomorrow, you will be whack.
I can see a situation here where everybody's down and the person retrieving the titles is Mother Wayne.
Oh God.
All right. Anyway, so for the AEW TNT title,
I wouldn't be surprised if that does settle. So
yeah, Jack Perry versus Darby Allin in a coffin match.
So I'm kind of torn because I want Darby to win.
I got Jack
Perry. At the same time, I need to see more Jack Perry, growth because Darby's already established. Right? We know he's one of the top.
Is this a way to write Darby off to heal his injuries?
Because it's his match, you know what I'm saying? Like Jack Perry challenged him to a Darby Allin type of match.
It is his match, and I feel like Darby has gotten the best out of Jack Perry, and Jack Perry just became he's had a short reign as AEW TNT champion. So I'm going with Jack Perry here. Don't get me wrong, I love the new design of the AEW TNT title, like how it's all black and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm going with Jack Perry here.
And he made that himself too, which is pretty cool.
I'm going Jack as well. It just regardless of Darby Allin's injury, you don't make a statement like that, and you're still growing as an individual talent.
Yeah, it's gonna
have to
be
get a W here. Darby could lose and still be up top. Like it just makes sense for Jack to win it.
Now for the AEW TBS title, Mercedes Moné versus Dr. Britt Baker.
DMD. Don't you forget it, Henry.
I don't know. I'm gonna go Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Mercedes as well.
It has to be. Not as I want to see
as
Britt
much
win.
as
The way they book her, it's Mercedes.
Exactly. As much as we would like to see Britt Baker win, the way that Mercedes Moné is being booked and stuff,
the way she's booking herself. I don't know if you really people what happened like a month ago. She's like, "Oh, I have control of all my matches," and then Tony Khan's like, "Yeah, keep making me money. That's what matters."
For the AEW American Championship, MJF versus Will Ospreay.
That's a hard one.
I'll go. I think, I mean, I'm gonna go with Will Ospreay. I feel
no way that MJF is gonna win after stopping up a storm. What he did the past couple weeks and changing the belt.
The fact that they've been teasing, Will Ospreay and this whole, Tiger Driver. I feel like he has to connect that move
one time and win.
Yeah, I'm going with Will Ospreay here.
I agree.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. And he's going to bring back the international championship. This is just sort of
thank God.
Yeah, that's how ugly shit that he got.
For the
it looked like it was just spray painted with a toddler spray painted that shit.
For the AEW Women's World Championship, you have timeless Toni Storm, the champ, defending against Mariah May.
I think Mariah May.
Let's go, Tony. Tony still got a couple wins left.
Nah, Mariah May.
It's over.
It's over. This is over.
So the black and white montages.
I don't know what it is, but Mariah May is getting that championship tomorrow.
Send that shit back to the 20s. It's over.
It is over.
Yeah, I think she's getting the championship too.
I just think you don't build Mariah May this high for her to lose.
The great thing is too, they built her up so much and it was so fast.
Yeah, no, exactly. So
it would be what, like 6 months of a build? This is like 3 weeks.
This would be pointless for her to lose.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And I'm gonna blame AEW booking. Let's go, Tony.
And then the main event, the final countdown has begun. Swerve Strickland, the champ, defending the AEW World Title against Bryan Danielson. Okay, so B made his decision.
I'm gonna go Bryan Danielson. I think
so the wheels fall off, baby.
Tony Khan has a great deal of respect for Bryan Danielson as much as he has for Sting.
Yeah,
he considers him like an icon in the wrestling industry. So I could.
But is Bryan Danielson Sting? Career wise, because Danielson is he's on his way to being like maybe top 15 all time, and career wise in totality, not just like in one spot, just like all together.
Go ahead, Soto. I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I had to do a double take because career
as in totality, not just like AEW Danielson is like the GOAT. No, it's like you could debate him probably all like pound for pound.
Go ahead, Soto.
I don't know because those years of retirement kind of hurt. Had he been active, I would have said he's probably top 15, top 20.
Top 25.
I don't know. That's a hard one. But let me tell you, I think Bryan Danielson will win the AEW World Title. I love how AEW has casted this doubt of Swerve Strickland, possibly winning and ending Bryan Danielson's career, right? Because obviously, Bryan Danielson announced that last week was his his contract is up, right?
Mhm.
And the fact that he is going to transition from full-time wrestling to part-time wrestling, right? So that right there, one could automatically assume, oh yeah, Strickland is definitely with. But it's just that Bryan Danielson has been in AEW for some time, and has failed on numerous opportunities to capture the AEW World Title, and I feel like this is the biggest deal of them all for him, and his biggest moment, and I think he does capture the AEW World Title. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. Like, I think it's
And you know what? Even though Swerve Strickland is currently listed as a face, he has done a tremendous job as kind of portraying the heel in this feud.
I agree.
And again, this is we mentioned on the podcast several times. It's like there's few wrestlers that can
do both,
right? A face and a heel, and Swerve Strickland, add him to the list because he could do both. He could honestly do both. So, yeah, I think we're gonna see a moment where Swerve. It looks like Swerve is going to end Bryan Danielson's career, but I think Danielson comes up on top.
You know why I think Swerve's gonna win? Because Bryan's gonna go to parts. He's not done for good. It feels like his final match, like Sting's final match.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, I would have went Danielson. He's going to part time, so he'll be back. Now he's gone for good.
Well, it depends, because I know there's been conversations about him not being in the best state health wise when it comes to a lot of stuff. So it depends how often is his part time going to be. That's the other question. Are we looking at one match a year, or one match a year, or one match maybe every other year, or one match every couple years?
Like, I mean, you could do the same thing they did with Sting. The way they handle Sting at his age and giving him part-time matches, you could do that with Danielson, or you can kind of do the same thing with WWE and how they did with Roman Reigns. But I think that would require. I mean, if you're AEW champion, I mean, Jesus,
that's a lot of.
AEW has so many championships that you can move certain pieces, but I don't know.
AEW booking ain't like that right now. So listen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But let's not give them credit for that, because they don't do that.
Structure. WWE was working flawlessly and fluidly without Roman Reigns, and then they put him back in and put him back out.
Yeah,
you don't have it in AEW.
See that, and that's the thing. And I think that was one of WWE's greatest success, because yes, Roman Reigns was a part-time champion. He was the champion, and he wasn't featured. So they made the IC title as the main championship for a while on Monday Night Raw, and it's worked wonders. Like, they put Gunther as champion, and he carried that. Then Sami Zayn had a run, and then now Braun Breaker. Like, they elevated the value of the IC championship, which is something they have to do with the Continental Championship in AEW and the TBS.
Yeah.
So if they want to go that route, they can. But again, like, AEW has so many championships that they all lose their values at the same time.
They also need to do that with the women's championship at some point too, that Mercedes holds, because right now she has 2 championships. So that's
and you're absolutely right, because right now in AEW, you're featuring all of your championships, plus all of Ring of Honor championships, plus all of Mexico's championships,
plus New Japan's.
And New Japan's.
So
it's so much going on. It's just
I think
I'm going with Swerve.
Less is more, and I think realistically, I think a lot of fans are clamoring for. It's unfortunate to say, but they don't want to see ROH anymore, just because they say that it's just basically saturated with AEW stars that are not used on TV.
It just crashed.
And it's sad. It's sad to say, because Ring of Honor,
because of its history,
it's elite, and Tony Khan is just I don't know what was he thinking or what's he doing, but I don't know.
Yeah. So moving on to the WWE, as announced, Uncle Howdy's in-ring debut will happen this upcoming Monday night against Chad Gable. And also, for those who don't know, Uncle Howdy, aka Bo Dallas. This is his first match since I think it was like since 2019. I want to say.
Yeah, further back.
Right. So now you have Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable. You know, I honestly thought for a point, for a moment that American Made was done with the Wyatt Six. But that's not the case, as now American Made now added Ivy Nile, and it's all hands on deck, right?
We're gonna get a triple threat match between Alpha Academy, American Made, and Wyatt Six at some point. Makes sense. It makes sense.
It does make sense.
It makes sense, but here's the thing, though. It's not going to be Y6 versus Alpha Academy. I think it's really going to be Alpha Academy teaming with Y6s versus American Made. Because if you really think about it, Y6 has sort of been helping Alpha Academy. Because if you think about it, they haven't targeted Otis. They didn't target Tozawa. They didn't target Maxine. They've just been targeting.
I for one, I'm excited to see how Uncle Howdy performs right in the ring. Yes, we've seen Bo Dallas wrestle, but I'm excited to see what move sets he has in store.
Is this a Bo Dallas match, or this is a Bray Wyatt?
No, this is an
match.
No,
this
is
a mixing match.
I don't know. This is
as long as we don't get the Bo Leave bullshit match.
No, I just listen. As you remember, at a time where the Fiend was wrestling like under red lights and stuff like that.
Right.
I just hope we don't get none of that with Uncle Howdy. I don't think so.
I think that's
Do we get an Inferno match at some point?
And
but an actual Inferno match, not Wyatt versus Kane at SummerSlam. That was a terrible Inferno match.
You talking about Chemical Kane? That was the best version of Kane.
Yeah. So with the
actually, I think
part or whatnot. Yeah,
I think they're top. Speaking of a little bit off topic since we spoke about the Inferno, they did a top 5 greatest wrestlers like all time with the gimmick. I think of course Kurt Angle was number 1, and Bold Randy was number 2. I think number 3 was Chemical Kane, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think people understand. Like, thank God that Kurt Angle got his life together. But TNA Kurt Angle, aka Perk Angle, was probably the greatest year of any wrestler of all time. There's no debate.
But just back on topic, it's going to be exciting to see Uncle Howdy in the ring, aka Bo Dallas. I did like the new design that they had for his mask and his costume. I think it's more ring friendly as opposed to his other costume, so I think it's going to be a good thing. Like I said, I hope they do the gimmick where they are Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy, and then you get Nikki Cross and you get obviously Sister Abigail. You get all the characters like basically together. I think that would be a good concept for them, because that's sort of what Bray Wyatt did. Like, you had Bray Wyatt, you had the Fiend. It worked.
Yeah, and who knows? Listen, who knows? Another person might join the group, right?
Alexa Bliss.
And that's Alexa Bliss, right? So Alexa Bliss has been teasing fans. I hope we get her. I hope we get her and Braun involved in it. Honestly, I hope so. At one point, just keep expanding the family. But I just feel they should focus on what they have right now. But when it comes to Alexa Bliss, yesterday she tweeted out, whatever, like a Taylor Swift, are you ready for it? And then a lot of people automatically assume it has to, do with her, return. And if she does return, again, that's awesome. That's amazing. She obviously she's been out.
Do you think she'll return? Yeah, she had the baby. Do you think she's gonna return at Bash? That's a good question.
I don't know.
It'd be a good idea, just they pop around backstage. Like, hey, I'm here.
I don't know. I feel like they should take their time, kind of like what they did with Uncle Howdy, and kind of set up different, like, if anything, QR codes, or like set up her return, right?
No, Now the question is she coming back with the Y6s? Even though everybody wants to
I personally think she should.
Or is she coming back as a different gimmick? She's not coming back as the old gimmick, the goddess. She said she doesn't want to do that, I think, at this point.
I mean, I think, she's gone on public, stating that how much she enjoyed working with Bray Wyatt and all these creative ideas. So why not continue that with Bo Dallas, right? And this Wyatt 6.
So who would she be? Because Sister Abigail is obviously Nikki Cross.
I don't know. See, I don't know. I think we got
to think in the chamber of what other characters from Bray Wyatt's Bray House of Funhouse.
Does she have to be like involved with that, or could she be like an outlier piece? Like she comes like being normal, and then like after a while be wooed into the way of being back with the like.
Well, she did that. She did that already. I don't know if they're gonna want to do that again because remember they had her solely.
Did she completely turn over and like stay that way? Because she was just gone right after that. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Then she came out in that match and she had the black on, and then she got what was it, sludge or something like that on her?
Yeah. But she never like completely converted over. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't complete turn. We wanted that. It got close to it. Just never happened.
And then they teased it later on when she was back to that, and then when she attacked Bianca.
Right. And I feel like in terms of long-term storytelling, you kind of need some like closure, or if you want to continue that. So it only makes sense if Alexa Bliss has some association with the Wyatt 6 when she returns.
I don't think she should go back to her goddess thing. I think that was already
right. Listen, she has ties with Nikki Cross. So if you have a one-on-one match between Nikki Cross and Ivy Nile, right, and that's when Alexa Bliss can make a save or some sort of involvement. I mean.
My question is, it's going to get the numbers game is going to get to American Made at some point. So, do they get another member too? That's another good question.
I think they should. I think they honestly should. Who?
Yeah,
that's a question that I don't know. We'd have to wait and see. But they definitely need another member because their numbers game is not on their side.
One person I would say whenever she goes up to the roster, probably, I would think so. It would have to be somebody in NXT. That would be my guess.
Yeah, like an NXT call up. Yeah.
Somebody with the background that they have.
Right. Exactly. Speaking of a return, a little bit news on Charlotte Flair. So Charlotte Flair back in December, she suffered a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus. Has been out of action since. B knows about it. But ever since then, she's also been filming in a horror thriller movie. I think it's called You Lose, You Die.
As all wrestlers do. I go to movies and do horror movies.
But recent news, there was a video of her training inside the WWE Performance Center in Orlando. And right now, the speculation is that Charlotte Flair return might happen in November. So that's good news. Yeah, that's good news.
A full year? Just over a year?
That would be 11 months. Yeah, close to a year. Yeah.
So because about that time.
She's like John Cena when it comes to coming back.
She suffered the injury on December 8th.
That was a gruesome injury too.
So 9 months,
seeing it live on TV
and stuff like that. And now you have like,
I already knew it when it happened on TV. When I saw it, I was like,
"Oh yeah." As soon as she went down,
I knew it. I knew it once she went down like that. I was like, "Oh no!" I saw her leg get caught between. I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yeah, she's gonna be out for a while."
Yep. On some
anything with Shotzi too.
Yeah. On some NXT news, a new challenger has emerged for the NXT Women's title. Jada Parker will challenge Roxanne Perez at WWE NXT No Mercy. I love Jada Parker and all.
Is it time? I got Jada winning. Is it time for Roxanne
to drop Jada winning? Absolutely not. Absolutely. they are just, they listen. They
Soto was like smiling and he went.
They are throwing. The funny thing
is, I said for most Roxanne was going to win, and Soto was like, no, she's going to lose. And then she won. Then she won. Then she put it again. I was like,
I honestly,
she's gonna win.
A lot
no,
of fans
she has to lose.
A lot of fans were wondering.
And now months go by, and now it's all right. It's time for
see,
Roxanne to lose. And that's so
only
like,
two people.
nah, she's not losing. She's winning all the way.
Here's the
only
thing.
Three
Whatever.
people I had for that match. Even though Jada Parker won, the other two people that a lot of people had were Sol Ruka and they had Carmen Petrovic.
I give it a year for Sol Ruka.
I think
next in line to win it.
Yeah, Sol Ruka eventually I see getting a crack at the NXT championship, but I think what they're doing right now is they're throwing sheep at the wolf. And the wolf is Roxanne Perez, and that's until a bigger wolf comes, and that's either Julia or Stephanie Vaquer. So I feel like when it's that time for Roxanne Perez to face either one of those wrestlers,
one of those loses in the mid card. One of them,
she loses. Yeah, she loses her championship. But right now, as talented as Jada Parker is, I think she will come up short. And Roxanne Perez,
there's no doubt in my mind. It's gonna be I
believe in you, baby.
It's gonna be probably Roxanne for sure. And I think the person that probably takes her championship would probably be Julia. Because I think she finished all her dates. If I'm not mistaken, she might have got her visa clearance already and she's moving to the United States. I know Stephanie Vaquer was the one that is still waiting on the work visa.
Yeah.
So I think that's the issue. So eventually we're gonna get Stephanie Vaquer and Julia.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be A1. So let's not even.
Let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown. Something very, very interesting happened, in which a lot of people have different theories. Jacob Fatu was stripped of his tag team title. So Solo Sikoa made the decision to strip Jacob Fatu and demanded for him to give the title to Tongaloa.
The infamous. No.
The infamous.
Thank you.
The infamous Tongaloa, and said, basically told Fatu that he is going to be his personal enforcer. So it seems like Solo wants Fatu to focuses on protecting Solo, especially from Roman Reigns now that he has returned. But I don't know. A lot of people says or say that this could be leading to a double turn. That there's the seeds are being planted for Jacob to take out Solo. I mean, there's a lot of things.
I have a theory on that, and I've been prominent on that. If you look at the way Tama looked at the Yofala thing, when he gave it to Solo, he looked at it like he wanted to put it on and take it for his own. Then there's another instance where Jacob yesterday looked like he didn't want to give the belt. He sort of hesitated for like a second, but then he opted to give it up in his facial expression. It makes me feel like we're going to get a double turn where
they all turn on Solo.
They all turn on Solo, and that introduces Hikuleo to the bunch. And then Solo sort of on an island by himself. He's back to being Solo. Remember, what was he, the Street Fighter by himself?
Yeah.
So he's sort of going to have to prove himself to.
Bloodline's going to be a 3.0 now.
Not necessarily. We're still going to get 2.0, which is going to be the Tongans.
It's going to be a 3.0 with a new leader.
Yeah, but we're going to get the original Bloodline: Solo, Roman.
Hey, Roman not taking Solo back. Fuck out of here. So Roman will be that again.
No, we can't say that because look, he kicked out Jimmy. And he kicked out, he didn't kick out Jimmy, but Jimmy and him had to fall off. And then there's also Jay and Sammy had to fall over him. They have no reason to take back Roman. So think about it like that.
Time heals old. It's gonna listen. I just think it's gonna take some time. I think a lot of people want this rushed, right? Where like, oh yeah, the Usos are back together. They're teaming with Roman, but no, I think it's gonna take its course because right now I think what they're gonna do is Jey Uso is going to focus. I think Jey Uso will be part of that Judgment Day storyline where he actually teams up with Rhea and Damian Priest. And
I said that a couple podcasts ago, right?
Yeah. Oh, we all said it. I think Sami Zayn might be involved in that storyline as well. Might. I know Jay definitely, but Sami is a might. Now, when it comes, a lot of people are already, looking ahead into Survivor Series, right? And it's like, all right, it seems like they're cooking the new bloodline versus the OG bloodline, but the question is, who's going to be in that match, right? Are they going to debut Hikuleo in time for that match? Is Solo going to be part of the new bloodline or the old one, right? Because the way Jacob be staring at Solo, like, I'm afraid for this man. Like, Jacob is about to like snap one day and take out Solo. Like
I think I really think it's
time
that.
on. It's over.
I think that it's sort of the subtle teases. Like, if you really a wrestling fan, you pay attention to that. Like, everybody knows, and it's obvious, KO is going to turn on Cody. Like
that. So that tease was crazy.
It is, but it's a subtle tease, but it makes it seem like it's not
subtle. I don't know about subtle. You see how he held the belt and looked at Cody.
No, I'm saying it's subtle that he didn't do it. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what it is too. The same thing could be said. The same thing could be said about the New Day with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Like that
was more so subtle. But then
right now, it looks like it's Xavier, the one who's going to deflect. What if it's a huge swerve and it's Kofi Kingston?
Don't do that. I love Kofi.
Don't do that. It could happen. To be,
but what reason would it be to give that Kofi would the swerve would be Kofi, right?
What if it's not either? What if it's not one of them? What if it's both of them? What if it's both Kofi and Xavier? Like, what if they're
what? So they will beat up Odyssey Jones?
Yeah, they play 2-on-1. Yeah, you can. They play it up.
What did Odyssey Jones do? Odyssey Jones does not want to be in NXT. He wants to be on the main roster.
It's easy. It's easy if you think about it. Eventually, obviously, Xavier Woods feels like he's taking Big E's place, and eventually, he has that conversation with Kofi. Yo, bro, I think he's taking his place. We shouldn't have that. That's a conversation, blah, blah, blah. And then Kofi starts to see it his way. And then we start seeing Kofi's mannerisms change toward him. And then they sort of just turn on it. It can go anyway.
You can do a storyline where they feud, and the only man to set them straight is Big E. I mean,
that puts Big E back on live TV, which he wants to for the longest. Not that he can't wrestle anymore, but he wants to be involved on doing promos and mic.
He hasn't. I don't know. I can't say. I'm never going to say never because you can never say never in the wrestling industry when it comes to things. But I know his neck hasn't healed the way he's supposed to. Certain things on his neck haven't healed. Other stuff has. Never say never, but I don't.
Yeah, we've seen with Bryan Danielson, Edge, Page.
Yeah. Well, as of right now for him, I know they say he's working out. He's doing what he wants.
Shawn Michaels did it too. Shawn Michaels had bad back.
Shawn Michaels had back surgery. Yeah, he fucked up his actual.
Undertaker had hip replacement, and he still wrestled.
Did he wrestle though?
But
yeah, I'm saying, but you can't. It's how hard it is to wrestle like with hip replacement. Like when you get that surgery in baseball, you have to retire because you can't even play the same.
Bo Jackson did it.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it's rare. But like I'm saying, like it's crazy if you think about it. But it's just gonna be interesting, like what happens with Jacob.
I just think going back to the topic, I just think Jacob Fatu's facial expressions is something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely pay attention.
Because I feel like every week it's just like more anger and like this like serious look, and it's like it's quick, but it's kind of like geared towards Solo, and I'm just like, well, what's happening here?
Don't forget, still got Sela.
On some TNA news, it was reported this week that Rich Swann was suspended by TNA. He was arrested back in June 8th and charged with disorderly public intoxication and causing a disturbance. But Swann, according to reports, Swann will be entering a substance abuse program. Good for him for taking that approach.
Agree. Can't knock somebody for trying to get themselves better. Definitely not.
Yeah. And then for those who don't know, ever since leaving TNA, former TNA president Scott D'Amore, right, is trying this revival, right, for Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, right? I think the first dates are October 19th and 20th. That
He can't feature himself on TV yet. I think that's
right.
the stipulation of his contract. He can't be on TV, but
Right.
he could do what
shout out to him. That's awesome. The fact that he's reviving this promotion and running stuff his own way. I personally, if I was AEW or TNA, I personally think Scott D'Amore is a brilliant mind, and I would bring him in. But I'm not in any of those companies, so I have no say. But if I were, if it were up to me, I would definitely bring him in. And speaking of Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, he did reveal that the former voice of NXT, Mauro Ranallo, will be the voice of his new promotion. So Mauro will be joining Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, which is great because I think he's an excellent commentator. For those who don't know, he was the voice of NXT. And
if WWE had him still, oh my god.
Yeah, I know. I wish they can bring him back.
And I'm gonna say this too. Like, if we could think of GOAT announcers in WWE who would still be there, like, who would be your broadcast team on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT if you can right now? So I'll start with you.
All right. So
I would have Mauro. Yes, definitely.
Yes,
100%.
I would have Mauro, and I think I would keep Mauro in NXT.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
I think Mauro with Vic Joseph in NXT works. With Raw, yes. I would do Michael Cole. I would do Michael Cole with Pat McAfee, right? And then I know Pat's leaving. You just bring somebody in.
For they brought out Tessitore.
Right, and then with SmackDown, I would do Wade Barrett and Corey Graves.
Don't forget, you got Tessitore too. So SmackDown's going to be a 3-man.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it'd have to be,
but in terms of like bringing in Mauro, I would bring him in NXT any day of the week. But yeah, listen, I'm looking forward to
no Booker T, Shucky quack quack.
No, that's so yeah. Terrible. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling.
So does Expressions does it all. He's like terrible.
Yeah. And the last topic on this episode, again, thank you guys for tuning in, is remembering Bray Wyatt. As you know, this is the 1-year anniversary of his passing, and I think I'll speak for myself. I think Bray Wyatt's passing was one of the most shocking moments, right? In pro wrestling.
You guys were doing an episode that day. I couldn't make it. I remember, and I texted
you.
And then read it live too. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah. So you can see my facial expression when I announced it, and I was just like, "There's no way," right? Like my body shook, and it's like when you have we're all fans of wrestling, and when you have somebody pass away, it's just like, again, it's one of those moments where you think these people, live forever. Like, for example, when I was little and obviously watching wrestling, it's like, for example, The Undertaker is my favorite wrestler, and I was like, you know what, I could never stop watching The Undertaker because, he'll never retire until he did, right? And it's like
no.
Yeah. So, passing it like this was difficult. It was unexpected. And, it was mostly shocking because we were reading up on reports that he was coming back, that he was gearing up for a return, that creative plans were already in line, right? And, to just suddenly pass away like that, it was definitely heartbreaking, right? To those, to his friends, family, and those fans of him. So
yeah, it's still insane to this day. Like, just goes to show you how like life is just like very precious, and then one thing or another, something happens, just like unexpected. It's just like nobody expect that kind of stuff, and like honestly, people grieve in different ways and deal with different things. But it's just crazy, like how that happened so fast, and like. He was an amazing person from what I've seen. Like we never knew him personally, but like just hearing the stories, just puts a smile on your face hearing how fantastic of a person he was to not only wrestlers and their families, but just fans in general. Like he was just humble, down to earth. Like it's crazy, man.
And last thing, I just I love the fact that his legacy continues. And it
it's
lives
living strong too.
right, and it lives within the Wyatt Six. So, and especially with Bo Dallas picking ideas from Bray Wyatt, I love it, and yeah,
I agree.
It's tough. You don't appreciate good things until they're gone, or great things until they're gone, and you don't. I don't think people really appreciated not Bray Wyatt the worker, but like or the person, but like the character itself and how great it was from the beginning.
I mean,
like, you got to see the Wyatt family. Then
we
you got to see
did, but maybe other people might have not. I get it.
just people in general. Like, and now it's after the passing, all of a sudden it's like, oh, this and that. But he wasn't getting that from because he was still around, he's still relevant, right? He was coming back, he was doing this and that third.
yeah,
And
no,
then, he's no longer around. It's like it's
and
tough.
like
It's tough
you
to
know,
really
we
realize how
heard,
much
you
it was
know,
really
at first,
appreciated.
right, and at first we heard, oh yeah, you know, he had COVID, and we're like, you know what, he's gonna get through that, you know, a lot of
yeah, of course.
Right, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, there's complications with the COVID, and I was like, oh man, and then but then like you heard reports like, oh yeah, he was gearing up for his return, and then suddenly, you know, we get this news, and it's like, wait, what happened? Like, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
it was more of a shocker to everybody. I think that's the best way to put it.
Because he was good. Like, he got through everything. He was improving, and he was getting back for a couple weeks to get back into the ring live. You know, things happen. It is what it is. It just sucks that somebody so young and still, you know, not even touching his prime yet, is taken away from us. Just in this world, as well as in the wrestling world as fans, and just as a person in general. Like,
it's wild.
You know, but things happen, and you just got to appreciate the good and the good and the bad, and see the growth from when he first came on as Husky Harris in NXT, who is still a great character as is, to becoming Bray Wyatt, leader of the Wyatt family, to being the Fiend, to having the Firefly Funhouse, and all that now is still so powerful and predicated. Doing skits, right? We didn't see a lot of skits until he showed up, and now it's a lot of WrestleMania had a lot of skits involved during COVID was involved, and then after the fact, these gimmick matches and stuff like that. It's grown a lot more, and Bray pushed that agenda aside, like ahead for everybody.
Yeah, and who knew? Like, you know, it's crazy because it's like, you know, we didn't know if he was going to come back. Like, we were gearing up for his return, but in terms of in-ring, because again, the if I'm not mistaken, there were reports that like the doctors recommended that he wore a heart defibrillator, right, at all times. So obviously, you know, his heart was an issue, right? So we don't know if he was coming back, like, you know, as an in-ring competitor or something else. You know what I'm saying? So it's just again an unfortunate situation, but I think, you know, his memory, his ideas, his creativity will live forever. And again, with the Wyatt Six, I think WWE has done a tremendous job of kind of like allowing us to remember his legacy forever.
Agreed. Long live Bray at the end of the day. But that's gonna do it for us in today's episode of the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in week in and week out. Show a number of love, comments, likes. Check out the IG, check out the Twitch, check out the Twitter or X, however you want to say. I'm gonna call it Twitter because Twitter is still Twitter. Check out our YouTube, check out the Facebook. You know, tune in, week out. If you want to hear the audio, we're on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. You name it, we're on it. Soon to be Westwood one day. But if not, you can check out the video clips on Twitch. You can see it on IG. You can see them on YouTube. You can see them on Facebook. Pop in, show love. Check us out.
Great, definitely.
So until then, all in tomorrow. And we got a nice healthy amount of wrestling week, and then we got another PLE next week. So
we got All In tomorrow, then Monday Night Raw, then NXT, then AEW, then TNA, then SmackDown. It's like
we got a lot.
So then, catch y'all next time.
Later, everybody.
Later.